Sebastian solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind, in the darkness all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be. For justice wheels keep turning, Granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When Granny's crime busters run, no victims left in pain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Hello, everybody. Everybody's doing good tonight. Come on in, take a seat. We're continuing our discussion on Sebastian. Hello, Ginger Girl. Juicy Jules. Hello. You missed the morning cuties. What does that mean? Justice for all victims. Absolutely. I wanted to show you guys something I found today online, obviously. And I thought it was really precious. So Beach High School, students and faculty wore green to honor him, and they put this out in front of Beach High School. Stars, green balloons, hearts, and never forgotten. I thought that was really precious. You know, if the time comes when Sebastian comes home, he's going to have a lot of friends at that high school. I thought that was really special. Hello, K9. Good to see you. And everybody else that's in the shadows. Oh, I'm sorry, K9. I know. I had a really bad dream last night, and I don't know what that was about. I don't know if it's, all the darkness with Sebastian. I mean, I don't know, but it was scary. Yeah, couldn't stop thinking of him. I know. It's like a 24/7 thing, isn't it? It just doesn't quit, and I don't think it's going to unless he's home and there's some kind of resolution on this case. I think even if someone's arrested, until we know what happened with Sebastian, there's another case that I've been interested in, and it's the Brian and Anna Walsh case, and she's still missing. She's gone. He was the last person to see her, almost like Brad and Suzanne Simpson, same kind of thing. But Brian Walsh had a hearing today. I watched a little bit of it, and I kept thinking, I'm glad that he's, going to trial for this, right? Why doesn't he speak out? Like Brad Simpson, why doesn't he speak out? They have children that could benefit from having knowing their mother was laid to rest, right? It just really, gets to me. And I think the same with Sebastian, even when charges happen in this case, because I believe they're going to. I believe that with all my heart and all my soul. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't believe that. when that happens, unless we know where Sebastian is, we're still gonna be dealing with our feelings over this. We'll be happy that, justice is found, but we need Sebastian to be brought home or to know what happened, where he is, whatever. I thought about a few scenarios today. Nothing I really want to share, but it it's just so devastating to think that, to know that we don't have enough, and that's why there's so much speculation, right? We don't have enough to go on, so we speculate, right? Yeah. The other thing I did want to show you, remind you guys, anybody who might be near Hendersonville, March 1st, Saturday, they're having a prayer vigil at the Celebration of Life Church for Sebastian. So, just want to remind everybody that is open to the public, and it's going to be happening at 2:00. I hope they televise it. Well, put it live on video, or televised, either way, but that it's live, right? But I'm really hoping for that, since I know I can't be there. Yeah. Yeah, and we're actually going to look at that tonight, K9. I know. I wish I could too. Wish I was able to do that, but I can't. So, but yes, that is what we're going to do. We're going to actually hear what Mike D has to say. Most of it is pretty much what I thought. I'll just share my thoughts with you as we go through it, but let's go ahead. I'll share my screen with you. Always got to have his whiteboard, right? I think he'd be lost without his whiteboard. It's so funny, but here we go.
I'm Mike the Man, and welcome to my channel. And hi, Katie, I know you're watching. The Fox 17 interview went more or less the way I have expected.
I like that. Katie, I know you're watching. He's very matter of fact, but he does have kind of a sense of humor. It's funny. Katie, I know you're watching.
Expected it to be. And that is because she was very scripted. She was bound to be scripted. Katie is learning to keep her story straight. And remember, she lives in two different realities. She lives in the real reality and a fabricated reality. And she always has to make very sure that these two do not overlap. Now,
that's interesting. I found that very interesting. I never thought about it like that. Guys, what do you think? She lives in two realities, the real one and the fabricated one, and she has to make sure they don't overlap. I know. And by the way, and I did pin it at the top of the chat, and we'll be off here tonight, so, in time for that. But yes, Seth is on tonight at 7:05 Central Time, whatever that is for you guys. and I put the link up at the top. I pinned it. So the link right to that video is right there at the top of the page, top of the chat there. So yeah, yes, he is the voice of maturity, isn't he? Okay. But I really, really liked what he had to say. Two realities, a real one and a fabricated one, and she has to make sure the two do not cross.
One thing that she has learned to do, she needs breaks, right? So whenever there's an unexpected question or something where she gets stuck, and she gets stuck quite a bit because she actually does like to talk. When she gets talking, she doesn't stop. She's talking about, I was hollering, screaming, yelling, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't, Chris had to cough to just snap her out of it. So she is actually a natural talker. But of course, in the case of her missing son, she is not talking. This is something, an unnatural position that she assumes. And remember the one question, what should happen to whoever abducted Sebastian? Remember the time she took to finally complete her sentence? That's around the time that she needs to take to compose herself and then continue with the script. And she has taken very long breaks in this interview with Fox 17. And she has learned to also play it off as if she was the grieving mother who needs time to compose herself because she misses her son so much. These are things that Katie Proudfoot has learned to do, in my opinion. She has learned a lot, actually, from this channel and others.
I agree with him. She has learned a lot from her first videos to this one. Because she said all the right things, but what Mike's going to talk about here really makes sense. There was one that I was really surprised about, and I'm not going to go into it right now, but I'll stop when we get there.
We are never going to stop searching. That headline, of course, already did it for me. And whom does it remind you of? The McCains?
Exactly,
John Vinnie
Ginger.
Ramsey's family. We will search for the kidnapper forever. O.J. Simpson. I will never stop searching for the real killers. The purpose of a search is to find somebody ASAP. And that is the goal. The goal is not to keep on searching unless you know with certainty that you will not find Sebastian, Madeleine, the kidnapper, the real killers. We are never going to stop searching. Never.
Never going to stop searching. We'll get into that in a second, but I like what Ginger said here. She is a woman who learns and adapts to different situations. And guys, that's what they learned in the military. The military trains them to do that because they could be put in any kind of situation. They could be put in a hostage situation, a kidnapping situation, war. They train them to adapt in any circumstance that they might be in. She's learned it well. This is Mike the man. he is on YouTube and he's also on X, and he's a statement he does statement analysis, and he's really jumped on this case big time. So
Never ever. We're not going to find him. As a matter of fact, we haven't even started yet. So why do I need to stop? The last time I saw my son was when I went to bed. This is very important for Katie Proudfoot. And the reason is she doesn't have an alibi. So sleep is supposed to function as an alibi. She does what she can to convince everybody again and again and again that at midnight she went to sleep, and at 6, that was the time when he wasn't here. That was the time. She wants to convince you and implant in your mind that before 6, between 12 and 6, she had no contact with him.
but here's the thing. Okay, we know she went to bed at 12, right? I mean, that's what she says. And I like what he said about she has no alibi. I never thought about it that way because I thought, well, we know where she was. But really, what he says makes sense because she doesn't have an alibi, right? The last time I saw my son was when he went to bed. When did he go to bed? 9:00. So them saying between midnight and 6 is not accurate, guys. It's 9 p.m. and 6. What happened from 9 p.m. and 6 a.m., right? That's more accurate.
She wants to convince you she could not have done anything because she was asleep. And that until 6 a.m., she didn't notice that anything was wrong. And that she overdoes by telling you again and again and again. She wants that to be implanted in your mind, where you don't think about a different reality. And you know what? It actually worked for a while. It worked actually pretty well because people were confused. People were going back and forth between some rumors and you name it. It was even a year later, there are still people who actually accepted something as reality that wasn't and find out later that it wasn't. So
That's really true, right? And it finally came to the point where we were talking here on Granny's Crime Busters. Hello, Samantha. Good to see you. That we were talking here at Granny's Crime Busters that we can't trust anything that came out of her mouth about what happened that night. We can't. Any story that she told us is just that, a story. That's why statement analysis, in my opinion, is so important, right? That's why I want to hear yet from Deception Detective. I like him a little bit better than Mike Demand. No shade thrown at Mike Demand. I think he does a really really good job. There's just, there's certain people we tend to like and are drawn to, right? I'm drawn to Deception Detective. I don't know why. Yeah, they're trying to instill that between us. Why? Because she even told us, if we're going to believe what she says, she never went to check on Sebastian after he went to bed. So what happened between 9 and 6? Yep. Yep, that's right. You know, they're not going to believe anything, right? If they're smart, I mean, they're going to pick it apart. They're going to look at everything. Samantha says, in my opinion, Katie and Chris don't look worried. They both know Sebastian Rogers' whereabouts. I get what you're saying, Samantha, and I agree with you that Chris doesn't look a bit worried, but looking at Katie, how red she was and the way that she was acting, I think she's very worried that she's in trouble. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. I think she's very worried. When people get red, their whole face and their neck, and if you really look at that video, she was just beat red. I mean, so badly that I was afraid she was going to have a doggone stroke. She was so red. So I feel like and not only that, she's pled the fifth. And I'm really interested to find out when Mob Crew Chris is able to say something, but he said something happened. And it wasn't that it was that huge, but something did happen that caused her to plead the fifth. And she's been quiet with law enforcement ever since. I want to know what that is. No urgency or fear for their child. Hello, lady. Good to see you. Yeah. I agree. And I think they know where he is. Either way, whether he's still with us or whether he's not, I believe that they know where he is. Hello, Melissa. Good to see you. So let's continue on.
The last time I saw my son, what about that night when you heard the third? That was the last time that you had contact with him? Or when you told him, I don't care what you're doing in there? Because that's not what you told us before. Remember, she changed her story.
You know, that's a good point. She didn't bring up the thud this time, did she? Guys, she didn't bring up the thud this time. That whole interview would have been great if they actually told the truth, like why they wanted Sebastian out of their home, the deviant in the home. No home is a perfect, fun day. I know. Yeah. Tell me this, guys. I know when my children were little, I don't think we ever had a perfect day. Ever. Know why? I wasn't a perfect mom. They weren't perfect children. Because there's no such thing. There's no such thing as the perfect day. In my opinion, she panicked after finding Sebastian injured and unconscious. Yeah. Because there wasn't a thud. And I thought for a long time that thud was really important in this case. But she didn't even talk about it this time. None of us live in a fairy tale. That's right, we don't. There's no there's no perfect life. There's no perfect day. There's no perfect mother. There's no perfect stepdad. There's no perfect father. There's no perfect child. We all have our good things and our bad things. But if we're a family, we love each other through it. Through it. K9, you think it was all premeditated? Yeah. I had a thought about that as well earlier today. Let me think about that. I might share. I don't know yet.
She is fine tuning everything. She is saying, okay, I goofed here. Let me go on. That's when she uses her arms all the time. So the next one is very critical. She said December 7th, he. Many times I don't understand what she says very well. It sounded to me like like a mix of will and would. December 7th, he will. And then she takes a long break. She's exhaling like she needs to give herself hope. That is the role she's playing. And she's pretty good at it, actually. She's actually not that bad at it. But, yeah, some of us just, it's still an act. No matter how good you get, you're not professional enough to get it straight.
No matter how good you get, you're still going to make a mistake. Every perpetrator of a crime or a lie makes a mistake at some point. I didn't think she started to say will. That's different than would. There's two different vowels there. I thought she started to say he would and stopped herself. They were actually trying to rehome him for 2 years. That's what I think too, Ginger. The planning began as soon as CP was asked to stay away from Sebastian. His meds were changed a month before his disappearance. So since you guys are talking about that part, here's something I'm going to throw out there. Totally my opinion, totally speculation, okay? Not to be taken as fact, all right? Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But I'm just going to tell you, when we saw the Texas Roadhouse video, what were things that stood out to us? So we saw her come in. We saw her taking pictures of Sebastian. She kept looking around, right? And we were thinking, why is she looking around so much? Why, who's she looking for? What is she looking for? And then, one way or another, she got close to Green Hoodie, right? Just saying. Okay. So here's my thought. So Lady for Justice, can you not use all caps? I get docked for that with YouTube. Appreciate it. Thank you. So my thought was this some kind of agreement that she had set up for somebody to take Sebastian? She was taking pictures. She set up this dinner so that he could be seen, so that they would know what they're looking, who he is, whatever. And then Green Hoodie, I don't know, gave her money, gave the watch for money. I mean, I don't know, guys. I'm just saying. Speculation. It's out there. Yeah, no worries, lady. Not no worries at all. I just like to put it out there because I don't want to get docked for that. Someone I heard today said maybe they told him he was going to go on an adventure that night. You know, and remember when she looked at him and he shook his head no sharply? She was telling him something and he shook his head no. I mean, so these things could all be out there, right? They could all be out there. I wanted to go back to what Lady said. It was pre-planned. They would take a lot of, did they have the time? It was a month. They had that whole month. If Chris, I'm, if they had connections, but what you're saying here, Sebastian medicated, she finds him down, call CP. I agree. That could all be a possibility as well. Not throwing that idea out by any means. Everybody has their own thoughts. Right? But they did want him gone. They can't take that back now. They did want him gone. And they're not saying that at all. Those emails came out, guys, showing that. So that is valid proof that they wanted him gone. And how much more with those CPS reports and the last one saying that Chris couldn't be anywhere around Sebastian? How much more so? Because, come on, we know Chris, right? We know Chris. We know that he's not going to let a child keep him out of his home, right? He's not. Yeah, that last CPS report, I believe, was I want to say the end of January, beginning of February. So they had a month to plan, almost a month plan. So, I mean, it could have, and I'm just saying my speculation that, like I said, I have nothing to prove what I just told you guys. It's all alleged on my part. I'm just throwing it out there because we have nothing, right? We don't know for sure what happened. The end of January, yeah. And yes, K9, CP gets what he wants. He does. He just does. And that's a thought too, Ginger. Katie kept Chris out because he's in the CPS reports. But I think he knows now. You can't tell me he doesn't know now. And Mike Demand, the guy that we're watching, believes that Chris is going to be the first one to talk. Yes, the teacher did verify that CP was at the school meeting in early February. Yep. So, yeah. I mean, there's so much. It's really, when we finally find out the truth, guys, I think we may find that each of us have a piece that's correct somewhere along the way. Well, happy birthday, Gretchen. Happy birthday, Gretchen. Puppies count. Puppies count.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Gretchen. All right, let's continue on.
And when she says he turned 16 and that's when the comes. Whenever the comes, she switches from experiential memory into the script.
Ah,
That is Katie's pattern. That has been her pattern. It helps us identify when she is speaking from not experiential memory, but memorizing a script or stuff that she thinks she should be saying.
wow, guys. Every time she says she's switching from experiential memory to script. And she did. She just said he would, right? Took a deep breath, exhaled. He turned 16 and he should be home for that. He's right. He is very right.
Because remember when she talked about extra mode and I let him stay up a little late, when she talks fast, she's wanting to get good with you. She wants you to relate to her and to think she can relate to you. He should be home for that. That would be talking about the future, right? Because he already would have turned 16. And I'm using would have because I'm convinced that he's no longer with us. I don't know that, but using statement analysis as I have learned it, he is gone. And it doesn't matter what video people bring to me. These videos, that one day people say, okay, it's a real deal, and then it's been debunked. I don't know and I don't care. All I know is that the statements are gold. And I approach every statement, every interview, like they're going to tell me the truth. I have no preconceived notions. There are certain things that I will look for because previous interviews already have revealed something to me. But overall, my approach is open-minded. They're gonna tell me the truth. But every single time, she talked me out of it. She convinced me she was lying. And she's lying again and again and again. He should be home for that. Yes. Nice words, Katie. Very nice. He should be home for that. You mean an upcoming birthday because the last one you didn't celebrate with him? Yeah, maybe she's looking at the future.
That's true. I often found that statement, he should be home for that. I found that weird. Did you guys find that weird? Oh, Canine, thank you. Thank you for the super sticker. Aw, so.
Granny wants to thank you all for kindness in the chat. Super stickers, bright and grand, gifts of love we understand. Memberships you gifted here, spread the joy and banish fear. Every super thanks you send warms her heart and ends the end. Granny cheers with love so true for each special thing you do. Thank you from her heart. You all play a major part.
Thank you. How can she have any memory of a missing child when we believe she knows? Yep. I mean, that's truthful. Seth is being set up as Katie's scapegoat for Sebastian's disappearance. Tell me what you mean by that. I'm curious. I've been thinking all day, and I'm thinked out. I think we may hear that Katie had to do what she did to keep Sebastian away from Seth and Chris. Oh, yeah. I agree. I believe she did not want Seth to have Sebastian. I believe that with all my heart. She hates Seth. She doesn't care if Seth was a good father. She just didn't want him to have him. The 26th, the day, very important to her, right? Day she filed for divorce. It's a date that's important to her. But I disagree with you. She doesn't play the good mother role in Victims so well. She doesn't play that well. I don't think she does at all. I think she has been horrible playing that role. Yeah, the date he went missing is significant. It really is. But getting back to the video, I did find that statement. He should be home for that. I found that weird, and I thought, well, maybe that's just the way she thinks, but he even said it. Is she talking about something in the future? Right? Makes sense. Good evening, Granny, and everyone here. Sebastian feels like he is all our son. Prayers for him to be with his dad soon. Amen. Amen. And welcome, AMC. We're glad to have you. Katie thinks she does. Yes, she thinks she does. Exactly, Melissa. They'll be in trouble. Whoever did this will be in trouble, right? They just will. All right, let's get back to this.
But it sounded like a mix of word and wood. And again, let me know what you guys hear. I will actually upload the small part of the interview next, so everybody can hear it. Everybody can hopefully make out what she's saying. It was a normal night. It was a calm night. She's asked, did anything happen? Did you have an argument? Was there anything that could have caused Sebastian to run outside of the house? And she said it was a normal night. It was a calm night. Now, we know from previous statements, not in this case, but other ones, when somebody says it was a day like every other day, that is a red flag. That tells us nothing was normal that day. It was a normal night. She adds, it was a calm night. It was anything but calm. It was chaotic. It was a crazy night. It was a very bad night for your son. Anything but calm. Nothing was calm about it.
That breaks my heart. That breaks my heart. If what he's saying here is true, that she's actually kind of referencing that it wasn't a normal night, it was anything but normal, and it was chaotic, that breaks my heart because I hate to think about what Sebastian went through. Not just that night, but how many others.
She's learned a lot, but certain things well, like I say, it's not that easy actually being in a situation like that where you're scripted and you have to remember it, and she has to also assume the right body language. She has to look like she's grieving. There's a lot that goes into that. So she is, and like we say, like I said before, Chris Proudfoot, he just babbles. He doesn't care. He doesn't even understand any of this. He doesn't understand. Trust me, he understands none of this that we're talking about here. None of it, even if he took the time to do it. So he's not worried about anything. He just gives it away, not knowing that he gives himself away. That's what his pattern is. Katie, she's very self aware. Even when she talked about Sebastian not having awareness, she can say that because she is extremely self aware and notices it. People tend to notice.
That's funny. He doesn't understand statement analysis, huh? Um, AMC, I think a lot of us here are on a fixed income. So we're all feeling the same way you do that, we'd love to be at the vigil, but just not going to happen. But we can be there in spirit and in prayer. I don't know. I don't know. I know that the divorce papers were signed on the 26th, but I don't know anything else. Hello, Samantha.
When others are lacking something that they are exceptionally alert with. Yeah, it was a calm night. Now, the first part of this I don't really understand. I just didn't understand. I think she said it's when I went in his room and he wasn't there. He wasn't in his bed. So why is she saying that twice? Wasn't there?
Ah,
Remember when they tell us what is not rather than what is? She wants us to think in this particular moment. It was the first time she realized Sebastian is not in the house or in his bed. Before, she would have had no idea. That is what, again, she adds to what she previously said. The last time I saw my son was when he went to bed.
huh.
A lot happened in that night that Katie Proudfoot was up for. And why was she asleep on the couch and got up at 12? Well, she wants to tell you he couldn't have snuck by her, right? Because she was asleep in the living room on the couch, or half asleep. I mean, I still don't understand how Chris could tell her on the phone, you need to go to bed. So did she doze off and she woke up again? I don't know. I mean, what is it? Would be the purpose of that?
Wow, guys, that's a really good thought. So that kind of blows my mind. Why does she tell you she dozed off? Why did Chris make a point of saying he woke her up, put the dogs? Why? Because she wants us to know that she would have heard Sebastian leave. Oh, guys, that's very telling. That 12 to 6 time frame, they planned this so well, even in what they're saying. That's incredible. That's incredible. That's really incredible.
But the purpose is she needs to make people believe that for sure the only time Sebastian could have gone out would be between 12 and 6. And that in that morning, I think 6:30 or whatever it was the first time she noticed that he wasn't in the house, which tells us A lot happened between 12 and 6. Now she said he was asked, what do you think happened? I didn't write all of it, but she said, unfortunately, over the last year, I have thought every single day, one more time. Unfortunately, over the last year, I have thought every single day, night, every moment of every possibility of something that could happen to him. That would be present tense, right? Happen to him. Okay. Somebody maybe took him willingly or unwillingly. Also, very strange, right? Took him willingly. Who took him willingly, Katie?
Who took him willingly, Katie? Who took him willingly, Katie? Who took him willingly, Katie? Seriously, guys. I think there's something to that. Rest in peace, Peter Hyatt. Okay, so I've heard both. And the last one that I saw was someone that said that they have it on very good knowledge that he's not gone, but that he does need our prayers. I Googled along with a bunch of other people. I could not find an obituary for him. But I will say this, my prayers are with Peter and his family. Peter was a good man. Very good morals, man of integrity. And I don't want to say was if he's still with us, right? So yes, I know that he's been ill for quite a long time and that he does need our prayers. Whether he truly is gone yet or not, I don't know for sure. But thank you, AMC. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it, Sammy? You could have a stream watch party. I'd love it. Yeah, Gene Hackman. I haven't been able to read up on that one yet, but that one sounds a little fishy, doesn't it? Oh, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. Oh. That makes sense, Ginger. There have been some people who have had hits on their lives. If they were going to be there, it would make sense that it wouldn't be video streamed. That would make sense. Yes, K9. He is rare and amazing. Very intelligent man. Very intelligent. All right, let's continue on. So, what was the last thing we said? Who took him willingly, right? Who took him willingly, Katie? You guys believe that? And when I say willingly, I mean she made it happen that he was taken. That's what I'm thinking of. I don't think that Sebastian was willing in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying that. I don't think Sebastian would have wanted to go anywhere other than to his dad's.
Was he willing or was he unwilling? So this
I keep hearing this laughter or something in the background. I don't know what's going on. You guys can let me know if you hear it too. It's not on my end. It's from his video, guys. If you hear that, it's just me and Lacey here. So
This is something I will get more into a little bit later, because there is a lot more that this actually relates to. And of course, I have to now get into some of the videos that we have seen, the ring cam, the audio from the ring cam. There is more that actually relates to, and there's going to be, I will have to spend a full video on this one. But what I want to talk about right now, what she says at the end, she talks about millions of possibilities, millions of things. She says, and she takes a break. She goes like, I don't know. I don't know by itself would be pretty reliable. It would be strong. I don't know. If somebody says, I don't know by itself, okay, you don't know. If you say, I don't know, I don't know. I mean, how could I know? Was I there? Who saw me? I wasn't there. What makes you think I was there? You count basically the words that come after that strong statement, and they weaken it, and they give you the flags, because they want to convince you that they don't know. It is very crucial to them. You see, she uses just to come right back to this one point that she's trying to make. And if you look at her facial expression when she says, I don't know, you will see even more what I mean. You will get a little bit more of the memory of how her facial expression was at other times when she is just lying a little bit too directly. And it shows. And the duping delight kicks in. So basically, in this case, she comes up with a huge sentence first, where she talks about all the different possibilities and how every single day, night, every moment of every possibility of something that could happen, she wants to convince you she has absolutely no clue. And she does that because she knows exactly what happened. And this is the act she has to portray. She has to tell you, she minimizes it right there. It's almost like apologizing for the lie that's coming. But it is all about what she wants you to think. She is that aware. She is the opposite of Chris Proudfoot. She knows how to construct a sentence where she doesn't have to, where she doesn't have to admit too much and say too much and lie too directly, but making you think something, making the audience assume she meant this when she in fact did not even say it. That was also the biggest thing about the Madeleine McCann case, where Maddie was missing. And the parents, their followers, their supporters, always talked about, well, she said this and the mother said that, and no, she said, but she didn't say these things. You cannot say it for them if they don't say it. And Bullhorn Betty put it absolutely correctly. That Duchess interview, the first interview Katie and Chris did, it was just terrible. She gave her basically the answers, the options. I hadn't listened to it until just recently. And this is horrible for analysis because they don't have a chance to even tell you what really happened. They don't even get it is absolutely the worst thing you can do. You should never accuse somebody directly, but you should not pander to them either. You have to allow them to tell you, are they the good guys or the bad guys? What happened? What do you know? And then where they begin and how they continue is going to reveal to us exactly what happened if it is long enough. And in Nancy Grace's case, it was the opposite. It was terrible as well because she was so accusatory that they had to defend themselves. They had to take that stance. So now here is another crucial one. What have police told you? Unfortunately, and she loves to use the word unfortunately in this interview. Several times she's used it. That they have zero evidence. And the reporter after that said, zero trace where he went, because she realized that that is very out of place. And that is just blatantly out of place. Evidence. You're looking for evidence? No, you're looking for any trace of your son. But that's how she's thinking. She thinks they don't have any evidence on her. She doesn't think about it as a trace because she's not tracing him and she's not searching for him either. She is worried if police has evidence. It doesn't matter if the cops think she did it. Most people think she did it. Most people who know about the case, who know anything about the case, they think she did it. What she worries about, there's not going to be any evidence. And that is so on her mind. She doesn't manage to go.
She's worried about evidence, guys. He needs to close his windows. Yes. There's some laughing or something going on. Right. Did she even see what he was wearing to bed? You know, or did she know what he was carried out in? It's a question, AMC. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that people will be putting up pictures and stuff. Yeah. You picked up the word evidence, right? She's worried about that. And to me, seeing her red face and her red neck, and it seemed to be getting redder by the minute, told me everything I needed to know. She is scared stiff. She is. Guys, she's scared. I wish that after a year she would just tell the truth and take the consequences, right? Whatever the truth is, because whether she's guilty or not guilty, she knows something. So she is guilty of not telling us what she knows. Sebastian was in that house and then he was gone. She knows what happened. Yeah, she complained about misinformation put out about Sebastian, and she's the one that put it out there. Her and, you know, she complained about how he was made to kind of look like he wasn't smart or whatever. Well, it was her interviews, her and Chris's interviews, that made him look like that. Seth was the one that came out and said, no, Sebastian is smart. Sebastian plays these hard and difficult games. Sebastian does this. Sebastian goes fishing. Sebastian does this. He's the one that corrected that. Yeah, I know. Before they seem much cockier, now they seem more regretful or worried or sad. Exactly. They do. Chris, guys, he was pretty quiet, wasn't he? And he even like looked at her and she said, go ahead. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute here. This is different than what we've seen before. We're now seeing what we thought all along, that Katie wears the pants in that relationship. No, it's at 6:05 on the East Coast. Or wait, it's 7:05 Central Time, so it'd be 8:05 on the East Coast AMC, sorry. But you should be able to see that if you click on the link at the top of the chat, and then it'll tell you what time it is for you. Bingo, Katie is the boss. And that's the first time we've seen that. He's been the one talking about everything. And now he was quiet and she was talking. It was a totally different scenario.
Into a different script. Now, Katie's been watching my videos, and my videos talked about she cannot get herself to say I love you. What would you say to Sebastian?
Listen to this closely, guys.
That we love him. No. Look in the camera and say, Sebastian, I love you. Find your way home. Come home. Whatever you want to say. So one of you guys pointed this out to me, and I like it really that you picked up on that. So you said that she finally said, I love you to Sebastian, but she did not. She wants to. I would just like to tell my son that I love him. She doesn't say, I love you, Sebastian. She doesn't even say, I love Sebastian. I would
Just.
I would.
And see, guys, when I watched that, I thought the same thing. I thought, she said it. And she even said his name. But now when I watch this, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's right. She would like to tell her son that she loves him, but she cannot. Because why? Because why, guys? Wherever he is. Hello, Victoria. After 1 year now, they want to have empathy. Yeah, I know. They don't know how to have empathy, Samantha. They don't. Neither one of them do. I know. I know. I think so too. But she cannot tell him that she loves him. She knows he's not listening. Why? Is he alive and he's being held somewhere and he can't watch TV? or is he not with us anymore? Because she knows she cannot tell him she loves him. She never really talks to him. She has never really looked into, like Seth has done. Son, if you're watching this, call 911, get away, call 911, get to a gas station, stay there, call 911. You know, he talks directly to his son. Katie never has. Even this time. She wasn't looking in the camera. She wasn't talking directly to Sebastian. And it honestly, it didn't hit me until I saw Mike say this. I'm like, wow, he is so right. That would again, I would just. Because she knew, like Mike said, she watches his videos. She knew that we were waiting for her to say she loved her son. That's a good question, K9. I don't know. I was really amazed when they talked about the green tea video. I was really surprised about that. You know, I knew that she was the one that actually filmed it, because you could hear her say, "Oh, you're so goofy." But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it strikes me odd that that video is endearing to her. Because she's not the type of person to think something's endearing, in my opinion. I've never gotten that vibe from her, right? And so it strikes me as odd that she thinks the green tea video is endearing. So that one is a little bit hard for me to swallow. I don't know what's going on with that one.
She knows she has to do it. It's been pointed, I've pointed it out, even in the title of one of my videos, because it started to be so very extreme to avoid saying I love you in so many places, on so many occasions. She always quoted him and saying, I love you, mom, I love you, mom. And then she only says, we love you, we miss you, only we, only we. You have a big family that misses you. Never I love you, never I miss you, never, not one time. So now she understands there needs to be a little bit more of a connection, son, mother, not her and the husband that hated him. I would just like to tell my son that I love him. Well, then do it. Why are you not doing it?
Not her and the husband that hated him. Did you hear that? Mike is just so honest. It's refreshing in a way. Not her and the husband that hated him. Oh my gosh.
I love you, Sebastian. She cannot say that. She is trying to come across as if she is saying it. But remember, guys, we cannot put any words into their mouths. We cannot say for them what they are unwilling and unable to say. And she cannot say, I love you. She only tells you, us, that she would like to tell, not tell my son that I love him. She would like to tell, just like to tell him. That is not the same, people. That is not, she still has not said, I love you. and to know that we are never going to stop searching. Well, again, we are never going to stop searching. That was what I began with because it was so crucial, in my opinion. And she is telling us, well, she really can't say I love you, but she knows she needs to make it sound like she is. And she is not going to find him. If there's ever going to be a search which hasn't been, it will take forever because there will be no results to be expected.
I was just writing you a note. um, so yes, I like that he said she hasn't said it yet, right? 50 minutes, that's right. I just looked when I saw. um, we can't live stream that because that's another creator unless we have like permission. So, unless another creator has permission to live stream it, we cannot do that. We can with court TV or news things, we can do that, but we cannot do it with other creators. So that kind of gives you an idea. Yes, we are going to watch Seth's. I know I am. I know many others on here are. I'm honestly, no, it's in 50 minutes. 50 minutes from now. Yes, Ginger, great minds. Um, yeah, I hear he's having a guest too. I don't know who it is. So I'm not looking forward to it, and I'll tell you why. I always, and then don't get me wrong, I always love to hear from Seth. But AMC, it's 50 minutes, 50 minutes yet. You're not going to find it for 50 minutes. And Ginger, can you put the link in again from the top? And we'll give you the link so that you can find it, but you won't find it for 50 minutes. Okay. He's not on yet. It's almost an hour yet. But yes, K9, he makes me cry. And it's been a year and those tears are going to flow. I know it. And guys, I hate to cry. I'm just one of those people. I hate to cry. I ugly cry, right? And oh, I hate to cry. I hate it. Yes, it's on his channel. And Ginger just put the link again so you guys can find it. I also have it pinned at the top of the chat here today. So, but yes, I always love to hear from Seth. I like to see him. I like to hear because he always talks about Sebastian, right? But yeah, I know he's going to cry. And when he starts to cry, I'm going to cry. And then I end up with a headache. And I don't like it. You see people already waiting in his live chat. Well, I've got it up too. So, yeah. So I'm one of those 78 people waiting. Although I haven't chatted in there yet. But I am in there. You're a Cancer, you cry all the time for Sebastian Rogers. I do too. But I have like tears, right? But when I see Seth, I cry like a baby. I ugly cry. I know, K9. But I don't like the headache after. And it's just me and Lacey here too, right? So nobody sees me, but I don't like the headache afterwards and my stomach ache and, yeah, I just never have liked to cry, but not that I haven't, I have and do, but I don't like to. But I will never ever miss. I shouldn't say never ever, if I'm able, I'm always going to watch Seth, right? Um, until Sebastian's home. And even then, if he gets Sebastian on, I might watch. Can you imagine that, guys? If he can bring Sebastian on video with him when he comes home. Boy, you want to talk about ugly crying there, K9. That would be interesting. But, so that's what I had for tonight. I thought that Mike brought up some really good points. He's right. She never said, I love you, Sebastian. She never looked in that camera and said, I love you, Sebastian. She didn't. She just didn't. And yes, for Victoria, that will be a happy day for sure. And that would be an ugly cry, but it would be an ugly cry that I'd be happy about. I wouldn't even complain about the headache. Oh, gosh. We're all so invested in this, right? You avoid sad movies and songs for that reason, right? Yeah. Yeah. I'm the same way, Melissa. I think it's because I know that I feel so deeply that if something's going to make me feel that, I'm going to kind of back away from it a little bit. But, especially if it's not important, like a sad movie is not going to be important, right? But Sebastian is important. So I'm not going to miss something just because I don't want to cry. Just not going to happen. But, I'm still waiting and watching for Deception Detective Behavior Panel. I really want to know what their input is because this time, this video was very different with Chris and Katie. Chris was quiet. I mean, he talked a little bit, but he was quiet. And at one point, he had to get Katie's permission to speak. What was up with that? I don't know. But it was different. And Mike said it's because she's watching his videos, Deception Detective videos. I know she's watching Deception Detective. Right. You always need a nap after a good cry. Yeah, I'll probably go to bed after Seth's. I don't know though. I think what I might do, I'll go to bed, but I will take my iPad in there with me to watch a movie to fall asleep in because I don't want to be awake because of Sebastian. Right, K9? I find that helps me. If I'm watching a good movie, I can usually just fall asleep. I miss the end of a lot of movies that way, but I usually will watch something I've watched before. So I don't have to miss it. Oh. But yes, Um, I I hear ya. I hear ya. Yeah. I had interrupted sleep because I had a nightmare last night that I do not want to repeat. Yuck. And I don't know where that one came from, but it was weird. But let's see here. So don't forget, I know a lot of people said that they can't attend, but for those who may be able to, or even just, spread this out, share the photo out and about, guys. It's important to keep his name out there. And for those of you who didn't come in earlier, I don't know if you saw this or not, but Beach High School students and faculty wore green to honor him on the year anniversary. And they also put this out on the yard. Green hearts and stars and balloons for Sebastian, never forgotten. And I thought that was pretty special. Very special. But my grannyism for today is be patient. Everything will fall into place. And I like to think about that when I'm thinking, and I just found the background, which said patience is power. But I kind of liked that too. But I like to think about everything falling into place if we're patient with the Sebastian Rogers case, right? I like to think about that because we've been patient for a year, guys. We need to be patient for a little bit longer. You have your green candle burning and your green lights on. My green lights have been on, yeah. That's awesome. God bless you, Samantha. Okay, K9, you have a good night. I'll see you in chat. Well, maybe. I don't know. It's probably going to go crazy, so we may not see each other. When it gets crazy like that, I usually do not chat much, guys. I'm not a big chatter in chats like that anyway. I just, I don't want other creators to think I'm in there to promote my channel. I'm in there to listen to what they have to say, right? So I'm not there to promote me or my channel. I'm in there to hear from them. And that's exactly it for Seth tonight. But so yeah, guys, that's all I have for tonight. I will see you over in Seth's live tonight. And please be sure to hit the like button on the way out. Remember to light it up green for Sebastian. Let's keep his name out there and him in the algorithm. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. It means so much to me. You have a wonderful night. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.